I'm Artis Stevens, President and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, and you're watching Little Big Chat. The concept for these talks is very simple. Just like the power of mentoring relationships that happens between our littles and bigs every day, we take a little time with influential leaders to discuss the impact of mentoring on their lives and the big role it plays in society today. Today, we have 5 big questions for Nikki Clifton, President Social Impact at the UPS Foundation. Nikki, my friend, how you doing?
Hey, Artis, so great to be here. So good to see you.
Well, we're glad to have you here. So we're going to get started here. And first question we have for you, Nikki, is just looking back at your journey. Who has mentored you and what helped you to succeed?
So I've benefited from a lot of different mentors, and instead of naming them, because I'm worried I'm going to leave somebody off, let me talk about how I've benefited from the investment of early, folks that cared about me earlier and what that looked like. I think about folks from my parents to Sunday school teachers to teachers that I had in elementary and middle school who taught me the value of the little things like showing up on time and writing a thank you note quickly after someone has done something for you. I think about people who have been in my corner in the workforce and taught me about the value of being a leader and taught me how to stand up straight and have confidence and look people in the eye. All of those different strategies that you get taught along the way are what comes from people who invest in you early and who have been really good mentors. And I think regardless of where it comes from, everyone can benefit from a great mentor in their life.
So well said. And it's important that we all have that. And it's so important that as we think about what we do in our own personal lives, how it also connects to what we do in our careers. And as the president of social impact at the UPS Foundation, your work is really focused on a lot of work that helps communities, that help young people, that address a lot of challenges that are absolutely going on in our society, even more today. So let's talk a little bit about that work, right? Your work is focused on corporate social responsibility initiatives. What are you seeing as the biggest challenges ahead of you and where UPS is putting their focus on attacking these issues?
Sure. Well, there's a lot to be addressed. And I think the biggest challenge is aligning the greatest needs with what our company can uniquely do. And so I'm about 8 months into this job, Artis, and I'm really focused on centering the work of the UPS Foundation in equity and in justice. And I know that's important to Big Brothers, Big Sisters as well. And so as we're on this journey, I think part of what's really important is making sure that we've got shared understanding about what we mean by equity and justice and the impact that we expect to see. UPSers are huge volunteers. We love being in the community. We love focusing on the people that are most in need and trying to bring our scale, scope, and reach to really make a difference in the world. And so whether it's delivering vaccines, to the remote parts of the world, or providing mentorship to kids right here in, our home of Atlanta, I think it's really important that we focus that work on equity and justice and meeting the needs of the most underserved.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about the needs just across our community, across our culture, there's a lot of changes taking place. And as you view these accelerated changes in our culture, let's talk a little bit about young people, right? Where do you see youth and young adults in particular playing a role in humanitarian and corporate responsibility efforts to impact change? And how has this influenced you as a leader as well?
That is such a great question because I think young people are at the center of the work that we are looking to do. So I'm a mom and I've got 4 kids between me and my husband between the ages of 13 and 17 years old. And I've seen, especially in this time, how their energy and their enthusiasm and also their heart has been brought into really some critical, scary issues, let's face it. And so I think young people who are right now really focused on wanting to see the world be a better place, I think they're the heart of what we need to motivate. And so the UPS Foundation is really shifting focus to put some energy around young people in the ages of 14 to 24. We want to cultivate workforce ready youth. We want to make sure that kids have the skills that they need to develop to come in to be great leaders, but also great leaders that give back. And I think the more that we can really address those issues by giving kids the skills, but then teaching them that they have a responsibility to give back and model that through our corporate social responsibility, I think we're going to be making the world a more equitable and just place.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when you were talking about your kids, it made me smile because I think about the same things with my two girls, Nikki, 13, 11 years old, and seeing just sort of where they are in life. And it's interesting just how they're bringing home for what they're learning this idea, because they're already there.
They're already there. We need to catch up. They're already there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what the role of organizations like Big Brothers Big Sisters play, right? In helping create these types of platforms and empowerment for young people. And I'm curious from where you sit, right? What can the role of an organization like Big Brothers Big Sisters or other organizations out there that are helping to engage and empower young people? Tell us about how you see that role playing out. I know you have experience seeing Big Brothers Big Sisters on the local level in Atlanta. Would love to just get your perspective there as well.
Sure. I think that organizations like Big Brothers Big Sisters can really help provide insight into the mind of what's going on with young people, because you've got the trained professionals, right? And so organizations like corporations who want to be able to fund that effective work, and then you think about mayoral task forces or governmental interventions that really want to help make communities safer and thrive, they need your expertise. They need to hear from you about what works for the young people and frankly, what doesn't work for them. Because as we're looking at how we fund more effective programs, we want to hear from the voice of organizations like Big Brothers Big Sisters about what they see working and what doesn't work. But you all, I think, can be effective in extending that information more broadly so that the kids are getting what they need and centering that work in the voice of the youth.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you had to sum up advice that you would give to your younger self into one sentence, what would that be?
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I was cautious, artist. And I think, you can appreciate coming up. I was raised in the South. I came up in a household that was really focused on advancing education and being the best you can be. And I got great values from my parents. And I was also, though, very rooted in making sure that I was perfect. And I would say, don't worry about that. Don't worry about perfection. Just be the best you can and put your best foot forward and everything will work out.
Yeah. And Nick, I'm going to go off the cuff here just a little bit where, you said something growing up in the South, right? Mm-hmm. You are African-American woman in one of the leading corporations in the world, in one of the top positions in the corporation. Just tell us a little bit about what representation means, for you and the experience and just the lived experience, the learning that you've journeyed through and growing up from where you came to where you are now.
Yeah, you know what? It's that's such a special question. I think I'm fortunate. I am deeply grateful for what I've come through because I think I bring that experience into this job. It's helped me have an empathy for those who are underserved and those who are marginalized. It's also helped me really think through how do we address systemic problems head on and really have an outcome, because when you've walked in these shoes, right, you don't want to spend more time talking about it. You want to act. Yep. And you want to see things actually move from discussion to really resolution so that we can move about, doing the work, the real work. And I was lucky, I talked to you about having great leaders and great parents and being rooted in faith. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to take diverse leaders being in the room, continuing to push these issues, showing why inclusion matters, and showing that inclusion brings a broader perspective, which advances results. And that's all we want, right? We really want to deliver what matters. That's what we say at UPS. And I think that having an inclusive workforce, inclusive voices at the table, help you deliver what matters.
I love it, love it, love it, love it. Well, listen, my friend, I've enjoyed this conversation, enjoyed the time as always with you. And by the way, we got to go out and get lunch sometime.
Yes, we are entering the time when we can be out and about mask free. We survived. I'm proud of you. Congratulations. Keep leading.
Thank you, Nikki. Everyone, Nikki Clifton, enjoyed the conversation. This is Little Big Chat. See you next time.